types of rocks. So rocks are divided into three classifications or three types. The first type of rock that I will introduce is an igneous rock. The second type is a sedimentary rock, while the third type is a metamorphic rock. So in the next slide, we will understand how igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rocks are formed in this planet. So bear with me, and this is our second lesson in Earth Science, rocks. So igneous rock. There are two types of an igneous rock. When we speak of the first type, this is usually the rocks or most of the rocks that we can find in the surface of the planet. This is an extrusive rock, or sometimes we call volcanic rock. The other type of rock are mined. So these are intrusive rocks. Another name for intrusive rock is plutonic rock. In the next slide, you will understand why the other one is called intrusive and why the other type of rock is called an extrusive rock. So the first igneous rock that I am going to introduce here is the extrusive rock. Extrusive meaning external. They are the hardened lava. So in a volcano, the magma will be spewed out into the mouth of the volcano, and when they are found outside of the volcano, they are called lava. When this lava cools down, since they are exposed to the ambient temperature of the atmosphere, they cool down quickly. So when they cool down quickly, the appearance of our rock will be a fine-grained rock. So basically, you cannot find much of the different minerals found in one rock. So that's why they look as if they are fine, or the grains are quite fine compared to the other type of igneous rock. So what are the examples of this type of rock, or the extrusive rock, or a volcanic rock? So here we have the basalt. So this is a basalt. This is a type of igneous rock that is an extrusive rock, and the other one is obsidian. So obsidian looks like a glass. So these two types of rocks is an example of an extrusive rock. An extrusive rock is an igneous rock. So the other type also of an igneous rock is called an intrusive rock. Intrusive meaning they are found inside. They are basically the hardened magma. So when they do not have the chance or opportunity to be spewed out from the mouth of a volcano, they will stay inside the volcano. So it is found underground, and they cool very slowly because they are not exposed to sudden temperature drop as compared to the extrusive rock that is exposed to the atmosphere. So the slowly cooling of this rock will produce a much bigger grain of minerals. So the different minerals are actually visible from the appearance of the rock. So in other words, they are coarse-grained rocks. So the two examples of this type of intrusive rocks are the granite, and the other one is gabbro. So if you can see this type of rocks, actually granite is very common in household materials such as the kitchen tabletops. So those are types of intrusive rock, and you can also see the different the coarse-grained surface of those granites. So that's the difference between an intrusive rock and an extrusive rock. Both of them are all an igneous rock. So the next classification of our rock is called a sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks actually are made of particles of sediments, maybe skeleton and some shells. So the next slide will be showing us the different types of sedimentary rocks and the process on how sedimentary rocks are made. So this is the process of making sedimentary rock. So the main term that is used in the process of making sedimentary rock is called lithification. So lithification has three different components. The first process or first component of lithification is deposition. So deposition is basically the deposit of minerals and organic materials combined in the surface of the ground. And later on, the second component is the compaction. So all those deposited materials along with the organic debris will be compressed or compacted as a geological process with respect to time. So all of those layers will be covered by another layer until such time that the pressure is enough to press all those layers beneath. And along with water, the cementation, along with water, the water will also bring in minerals and will also be deposited into the rock. So as the water escapes, there is already the cementation and compaction of our sedimentary rock. And so that's how a sedimentary rock is formed. So in here, I will give you the three basic types of sedimentary rock. So we have sedimentary rock from sand, so the compaction and or the lithification of sand, and the product that is formed from the lithification of sand is called a sandstone. So this is the color of a sandstone. It's more or less like a tan in color. And there is also another type of material that is lithified, and that is mud. So mud from different geological surfaces of the planet that is very rich in water. So that is by geological time, the water escapes from the area and creating tremendous pressure and cementation, and eventually they become stones. And so these rocks are called shale. So the shales usually are color gray. So shale are actually made from the materials of mud. So the last type of the three common types of sedimentary rock is a limestone. Limestone usually is made from debris of shells and some minerals. So these are the three types of sedimentary rocks that is commonly found in our environment. So finally, we have metamorphic rock. So metamorphic rock is usually caused by heat and pressure. So in this illustration, there is actually the source of heat, which is the magma from the underground, and at the same time the pressure of the surface of the layers of the crust. So in that area, for example, very near to a magma, there will be a change of chemical compositions of the, or maybe the arrangement of crystals of our materials and minerals to create another type of rock, which is called a metamorphic rock. In the making of metamorphic rock, the process is called a metamorphism. So there are three types of metamorphism actually. And the first type of metamorphism is contact metamorphism. When we speak of contact metamorphism, this is the creation of metamorphic rock very near to a magma chamber. So wherever there is a source of heat and the magma, for example, so along the peripheral area of the magma chamber will actually create a type of metamorphic rock. So that type of metamorphism is called a contact metamorphism. Now for the second type of metamorphism, that is called regional metamorphism. When we speak of regional metamorphism, that covers a whole area for a couple of square kilometers. So when we speak of regional metamorphism, that is just basically due to the pressure that is developed a long time within the layers of our crust. So, but as actually it covers a whole range of areas since it is called regional metamorphism. In this example, we have slate due to a very high pressure and and high temperature as it goes down. So you will be expecting to find migmatite. This migmatite is actually coming from slate that is metamorphosized as it goes down or brought down to the amount of pressure and the layers of the surface of the crust. Now for the third type of metamorphism, this only occurs during a fault. So that's why it's called a dynamic type of metamorphism. So while it is true that there is a regional metamorphism that is produced due to the pressure of the crust of the earth, but when a fault is actually sliding or passing each other, it can also create a pressure to the crust. So that again will produce another type of metamorphic rock. So the process is still called metamorphism. So the the three types of metamorphism are contact metamorphism, regional metamorphism, and dynamic metamorphism. So this is a diagram of an increasing pressure and increasing temperature taken from the page 250 of the Earth Portrait of a Planet 3/E. This is done by, the original work is done by Gary Hinks. So in this illustration, it shows, for example, with smaller pressure and temperature will produce a low-grade shale. So as the pressure and temperature is increased, it can produce another setup of that crystal of that rock into slate. And as you increase further the temperature and pressure, you will produce the schist going to the gneiss and magmatite. So this is how the different types of metamorphism due to the corresponding increase of pressure and increase of temperature looks like. For example, if you just have to increase further the pressure with the minimal temperature, we will actually be producing a blue schist. So these are the different types of rocks that are produced with our diagram as presented here. So I hope that this will help you understand how pressure and temperature plays or interacts with each other to produce a different type of metamorphism or metamorphic rock. So now finally we will be looking at the different types of metamorphic rocks, and the first type is effoliated. Another name for that is banded. So you see the bands of lines of those minerals coming from the original parent material of the rock that is found here. So that is one type of metamorphic rock. And another type of metamorphic rock is non-foliated. So this is the reason for having a non-foliated rock is because it's usually coming from only one mineral. An example to this type is actually our limestone when they are metamorphosized. So basically limestone is made from a sedimentary rock. So when limestone is metamorphosized, they will become marble. So that's why they are only having one type of color and no band on it. So these are the two types of metamorphic rock. One is banded, the other one is non-banded. So this is the conceptual summary about rocks. Rocks are made of minerals, and there are three types of rocks: igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rock. For igneous rock, there are two types. One is extrusive rock, also known as volcanic rock. The other type is intrusive rock, also known as plutonic rock. This extrusive rock or volcanic rock cools quickly on the surface of the earth because this is made from lava. And since lava is exposed to the ambient atmosphere, this type of cooling will produce a fine-grained type of extrusive rock. The examples for extrusive rock are the following: basalt and obsidian. For an intrusive rock, also known as plutonic rock, they cool very slowly and they cool beneath the earth's surface because they are made from magma. And since magma is not exposed to the Earth's atmosphere, they will produce a coarse grain type of appearance of the intrusive rock. So the examples for this one is or are granite and gabbro. Rocks again are created when magma or lava cools. So when magma cools down, that's the intrusive rock, while when lava cools down, that's the extrusive rock. For sedimentary rocks, they are made from particles of sediments and some organic matters, including skeleton and shells. The process of making the sedimentary rock is called lithification, and that includes sedimentation, compaction, and cementation. While the three major types of sedimentary rocks that are common in the environment are the following. Sandstone are made from sand and the color is tan. Shale, the color is gray and they are made from mud. While limestone, the color is white because they are made from shells. And they will be metamorphosized into a marble or quartzite. And in terms of metamorphic rock, the types are non-foliated. When we say non-foliated, they are not banded or non-banded type of metamorphic rock. And usually, this is due to one type of mineral is present within the rock. An example again is marble and quartzite. So for foliated or banded type of rock, they are the example to this one are slate, schist, and gneiss. So metamorphic rocks is caused by two factors. One is heat and the other one is pressure. Metamorphic rock undergoes the process what we call metamorphism, and they occur in three types. One is locally or contact metamorphism that is found in a small area, usually in a magma chamber. And another type of metamorphism is in terms of a large area. This is why it's called a regional metamorphism in terms of square kilometers, while the dynamic metamorphism is due to faults and pressure. Now, rocks undergo also what we call a rock cycle. So, metamorphic rock can be turned into sedimentary rock later, while sedimentary rock can be consumed inside our earth, magma, and mantle, and eventually they can be spewed out again in the form of lava and magma and becomes an igneous rock. So the cycle can be in any order. So this is the conceptual summary about rocks.